So NIO Day just happened. What is going to happen to the stock? Is NIO Day bullish for the stock or is it bearish for the stock? Well, there's good and there's bad, and of course we're going to talk about both in this video. If you think it's only good and no bad, then you are delusional. And of course, we're going to talk about the great stuff first. So, first of all, the price of Firefly car. The price of the Firefly is 148,000 RMB, which is exactly the same price as the starting price of a Mini Cooper and a little bit cheaper than the cheapest Smart you can get here in China. So with the price, they are bang on, and I would say it would give Mini and Smart a great run for its money. And of course, don't forget, with battery rental, you can knock off about 25 or 30% of the price of the car, making the Firefly car even more affordable. Now, I'm not going to comment on looks of the car. Some people like the look. Some people think it's cute. Some people don't like the look. NIO CEO has also said after this NIO Day event, he said in person to some other people that, some people will like it. Some people won't. It's up to personal preference. But one thing is for sure, in terms of specs, features, service, all these different factors, including price, Firefly is the clear winner. All right, it is the champion. Now, I do ultimately expect this car to sell really, really well. It is a very affordable car nonetheless. And with the Firefly car, you have total coverage of the entire budget range from 150k RMB all the way up to 800k RMB in terms of the NIO brand portfolio, all right, NIO group portfolio. So this is very, very nice. You got a car, a vehicle, product for every single budget category. So there's no excuse saying, hey, I can't buy that car because it's too expensive. Well, if you can't buy a NIO, buy an Avo. If you can't buy an Avo, buy a Firefly. The Firefly car will undoubtedly give a nice boost to NIO sales. However, for the stock, well, we'll talk about this later. Let's first talk about the ET9, the great thing about the ET9. Now, the ET9 is about half the price of a Maybach S. A Maybach S here in China, 1.26 million RMB. This is with discount, all right? Whereas with NIO, it only cost 788,000 RMB. And of course, with BAS, it knocks it down to 660,000 RMB. So you're getting better performance than a Maybach S, more tech, more luxury, one would say. Yeah, I would say more luxury. So it's just an overall much better vehicle, but for half the price of a Maybach S and even more performance. And this car is also cheaper than the Model S here in China, the Tesla Model S. So compared to the Model S, would you pick the ET9 or the Tesla Model S? I would pick the ET9 every day, all day, every day. Apart from acceleration, the Model S, which has better acceleration, other than that, NIO wins with everything else, all right? Everything else, including charging speed, all right? NIO is the fastest charging speed car on top of battery swap. So apart from acceleration, and the ET9 is no slouch either. I mean, 4.4 seconds, 0 to 100 for such a big car, that's still quite fast, okay? So would you take the ET9 over the Model S? I would take it all day, every day. And it's a little bit cheaper than the Model S here in China. So it's a no-brainer, guys. So even though this car ain't cheap, it's not cheap, it is actually so bang for the buck. All right, when you're looking at what it's targeting, what it's competing against. So this will actually sell a decent volume of cars. It's not going to be like, just a few cars per month. All right, this is actually going to sell because of everything it has. And it's the pinnacle of NIO's technology, right? It's the best tech that you can get out of NIO. Now that we got the good stuff out of the way, let's flip the coin over and look at the other side of the coin, the bad. And this could be possibly why NIO stock isn't rocketing to the moon just yet. It is, of course, the fact that this car, Firefly car, as great as it is not officially launching until April, and with deliveries probably in May or June afterwards. So as shareholders, you're not going to see impact on deliveries until May or June. So there's still some waiting to be done. Also, we were all sort of looking forward to NIO launching a few new NIO branded cars on top of the ET9, like the ES8, the ES7, and the ET6. Now, it's understandable why they didn't do it, because they're just launching in some new markets like Azerbaijan and UAE and stuff. They're bringing the cars over there, and it wouldn't really make sense to make all NIO's current vehicles outdated by launching newer vehicles. However, you have to keep this in mind. It has been 4 years since the first ET7 debuted, all right, made its debut. And right now, most cars on the market have horizontal screens and have either 800 or 900 volt charging, fast charging. So, as a luxurious premium top tier brand, we're still with horizontal screens. We're still at 400 volts. And I hate to say it, but that this just means that going forward in perhaps the next year or so, okay, apart from the ET9, the bulk of NIO brand's deliveries still has to come from the current NT 2.0 cars, which they are heavily subsidizing with discounts and incentives in order to push sales. Now, be careful. I'm not going to say those cars are outdated. NT 2.0 cars are nowhere outdated, but they're not up to date with the latest tech and developments. And just think about it. The ET9 has been announced for already 1 year now, right? What this all means is that we really have to rely on Envo and also Firefly to pick up delivery volume, whilst NT 2.0 cars for NIO might have deliveries continue to slide going into next year unless they come out with even greater incentives. And that's just the way it is. Think about it this way. The Envo car is 900 volt, has battery swap, and it's cheaper than a NIO, but NIO's vehicles, apart from the ET9, is still 400 volt, even though NIO is the premium brand. So they really got to get things up to date. In other words, in 2025, NIO is going to continue to sell the current NT 2.0 cars along with all the other cars, along with ET9. And of course, ET9 is the best car that NIO has right now, but you're kind of getting a big technology gap between the ET9 and the rest of the NIO's lineups, right? And without updating the rest of the lineup, NIO might have to push out even further incentives in order to not let sales slide with the NT 2.0 cars. So just keep that in mind, all right? There's good and there's bad, and this is partially why, things are the way it is. But long term, we are still good, and over time, NIO sales are going to absolutely explode. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.